I always knew Michael would leave me for a younger woman. I just didn't expect him to be so stupid about it. The beach house is mine, he declared, standing in our kitchen, my kitchen now, with his arms crossed. At 48, he still looked good in his expensive suit, but the swagger that had once charmed me now just seemed pathetic. I paid for it, I maintained it, You haven't even visited it in 2 years, I interrupted, continuing to chop vegetables for my dinner. Single portions were still taking some getting used to after 23 years of marriage. That's not the point, Claire. He slammed his hand on the counter, making the knife pause in its rhythm. I earned that house. I built this life. You can't just. Can't just what? I looked up finally, meeting his eyes. Can't just refuse to hand over my property to you and your child bride? His face reddened. Amber is 25, not a child. And she's more woman than you've been in years. I resumed chopping, hiding my smile. Amber. Such a perfectly cliché name for a trophy girlfriend. Is that what this is about? Proving you've still got it with someone half your age. This is about what's rightfully mine. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through documents. I have proof here, mortgage payments, maintenance receipts, property taxes. All paid from my account. Your account, I mused, scraping the vegetables into a pan. Interesting choice of words. He frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I wiped my hands on a dish towel, thinking about the documents hidden in my study upstairs. The ones I'd spent 20 years carefully preparing. How is the new apartment, by the way? The one you bought for Amber? Michael shifted uncomfortably. That's none of your business. $2.5 million, wasn't it? In that new development downtown. I started the burner, watching the olive oil shimmer. Pretty generous for a first property. How did you? He caught himself. I mean, what makes you think? That you spent our money on an apartment for your girlfriend? I sprinkled herbs into the pan, enjoying the sizzle. Or should I say, spent your money? Since apparently, we're being specific about accounts today. His confidence wavered slightly. Look, Claire, I know you're bitter. Bitter? The laugh escaped before I could stop it. Michael, you have no idea what I am. He ran a hand through his still thick hair. More salt than pepper now. I'm trying to be reasonable here. The beach house is worth $4 million. You can keep this place, the cars, even that ridiculous art collection you've been building. Just give me the beach house. I turned down the heat under my pan, giving him my full attention. Why that specific property? You haven't used it in years. You always complained about the drive, the maintenance, the salt air ruining your precious suits. Amber loves the ocean, he muttered. Ah! I nodded sagely. And you promised it to her, didn't you? Probably described it in great detail. The private beach, the infinity pool, the sunset views from the master bedroom. Told her how you'd live there together, start fresh. His silence was answer enough. One problem with that plan, dear. I walked to my study, hearing his expensive shoes follow me across the hardwood floors. You can't give away something you don't own. What are you talking about? Of course I own it. I bought it 15 years ago. I opened my safe, removing a thick folder, one of many I'd prepared for this moment. Actually, you didn't. He snatched the folder from my hands, flipping it open. I watched his face as he read the documents inside. Seeing the exact moment, understanding began to dawn. This can't be right. He shuffled through the papers frantically. The beach house is owned by Ocean View Holdings. Keep reading. Ocean View Holdings, established 2003, sole proprietor. His voice trailed off. Claire Montgomery. My maiden name, I confirmed. The name I used to buy the property 5 years before you thought you bought it. He staggered back, falling into my office chair. But I have mortgage statements. Tax records. How? You have records of payments made to Ocean View Holdings, I corrected him. Which, as you've just learned, is my company. You've been paying rent, Michael. Very expensive rent, but rent nonetheless. That's impossible. The purchase agreement was with Ocean View Holdings, yes. You never actually read the fine print, did you? Too busy bragging to your golf buddies about your oceanfront property to notice you were signing a 20-year lease agreement, not a deed of sale. The color drained from his face. You tricked me? No, darling. I protected myself. I took the folder back, replacing it in my safe. Did you really think I didn't know about your affairs? The younger women, the gifts, the promises? I knew from the 3rd year of our marriage that this day would come. 20 years, he whispered. You've been planning this for 20 years? Longer. I returned to the kitchen, the vegetables in my pan now perfectly sautéed. Would you like to know what else I've been planning? He followed me again, but slower now, his swagger replaced by something approaching fear. There's more. So much more. I plated my dinner, just one portion, because I'd known he wouldn't be staying. For instance, have you looked closely at the ownership structure of your company lately? My company? He barked out a laugh. I built Maxwell Industries from nothing. Every share is in my name. Are you sure about that? The fear in his eyes grew. What did you do? Nothing illegal, I assured him. Just strategic. Did you know that Nevada corporate law allows for anonymous shareholders? Or that Delaware LLCs can be structured in ways that obscure beneficial ownership? Claire, his voice held a warning note. You should really pay more attention to your corporate filings, I continued, sitting down at the kitchen island. Especially the ones your very efficient assistant brings you to sign every quarter. The ones you never read because you trust her so completely. Barbara, what does she have to do with this? Barbara has worked for me for 15 years, I said calmly, taking a bite of my dinner. Ever since I helped her leave her own unfaithful husband. She's been very thorough in her duties. Michael's legs seemed to give out, and he sank into a kitchen chair. How much? Of your company? I pretended to think. About 60%, give or take. All legally acquired, all properly documented. Would you like to see the paperwork for that too? You've destroyed me, he whispered. No, Michael. I've protected myself. There's a difference. I took another bite, savoring the flavors. Now, about that beach house. Amber is welcome to visit, but the rental agreement specifically prohibits subletting or permanent guests. And it expires next year, by the way. I don't plan to renew it. You planned all of this. All these years while you thought I was just the supportive wife. The quiet partner? The one who looked the other way while you played with your toys. I smiled. Like I said, Michael, you have no idea what I am. He stood up suddenly, his chair scraping against the floor. I'll fight this. I'll get lawyers. No, you won't. I pulled out my phone, showing him an email. Because in about 30 seconds, your board of directors will receive some very interesting information about certain creative accounting practices you've been using to fund your extramarital activities. Unless what? Unless you walk away. Quietly. Leave me the house, the beach house, my shares in your company. Sign the divorce papers my lawyer will send tomorrow. Never contact me again. And if I don't, then I don't just own your company, Michael. I destroy it. And you along with it. He stared at me for a long moment, seeing me clearly perhaps for the first time in 23 years. Then, without another word, he turned and walked out of the kitchen. I heard the front door close, followed by the sound of his car starting up. Only then did I allow myself a small smile. Phase 1 was complete. But that was just the beginning. Michael lasted exactly 3 days before he tried to fight back. Mrs. Montgomery? Barbara's voice came through my office intercom. He's here with his lawyer. And the girlfriend. I smiled, setting aside the company reports I'd been reviewing. Perfect timing. Send them in. Michael burst through the door first, followed by a sharp-faced man in an expensive suit and a young woman who could only be Amber. She was exactly what I'd expected, blonde, beautiful, and wearing clothes that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary. Claire, Michael growled, this ends now. I leaned back in my chair, taking in the tableau before me. Barbara, would you mind staying? And perhaps taking notes. My assistant, my partner, really, settled into a corner with her tablet, ready to record everything. You can't just take my company, Michael continued. Jenkins here has reviewed everything, and… Mr. Jenkins, I interrupted, addressing the lawyer directly. Before you waste everyone's time, I suggest you look up case law regarding Delaware corporate structure amendments, specifically relating to cumulative preferred share conversions. Barbara can provide you with the relevant citations. The lawyer's confident expression faltered slightly. Additionally, I continued, you might want to review the SEC filings for Maxwell Industries over the past decade, particularly the footnotes regarding beneficial ownership through subsidiary holding companies. Jenkins shuffled through his papers. I have those here somewhere. No, you don't. I smiled, because those documents were only filed this morning. Barbara. She pressed a button on her tablet, and the large screen on my office wall lit up with a complex organizational chart. At the top was Maxwell Industries, and beneath it, a web of companies and holding structures that all led back to one name, Claire Montgomery. As of 9 a.m. today, I explained, the restructuring of Maxwell Industries was completed. The shareholders have been notified, the board has approved all changes, and the SEC filings are public record. Michael's face had turned an alarming shade of red. You can't. Already did. I turned to Amber, who had been unusually quiet. By the way, how's the apartment? The one Michael bought you. She blinked, surprised at being addressed directly. It's nice. Just nice. For $2.5 million, I'd expect better than nice. I pulled up another document on the screen. Especially since it's actually worth closer to $4 million. The difference makes for quite a healthy commission, doesn't it? Now it was Michael's turn to look confused. Commission? What commission? Should I tell him? I asked Amber. Or would you prefer to explain? She straightened her shoulders, dropping the wide-eyed ingenue act. You knew. Of course I knew. Barbara vetted you thoroughly before we hired you. Hired? Michael's head whipped between us. What the hell is going on? Amber Clayton, I said calmly, is not just a yoga instructor you met at the gym. She's a licensed real estate agent with a master's in business administration from Wharton. She's also been working for me for the past year. Michael staggered back, groping for a chair. No. The apartment sale? I continued. That extra $1.5 million went straight into an escrow account, along with similar commissions from other properties you've secretly purchased over the years. Other properties? Jenkins asked sharply. Oh yes. I nodded to Barbara, who pulled up more documents. The condo in Miami, the ski lodge in Aspen, the villa in Spain, all sold to Michael at significantly inflated prices by various agents who, like Amber here, work for my private investment group. You set me up, Michael whispered. No, darling. I just took advantage of your predictability. I stood up, walking around my desk. Did you really think you were the first wealthy, middle-aged man to fall for the beautiful young woman who seemed so impressed by his success? Who encouraged him to buy expensive properties as investments? Who made him feel powerful and clever and young again? Amber moved to stand beside me. Gone was the simpering girlfriend act, replaced by the sharp businesswoman I'd hired. You were right about him, she said. Every move, exactly as predicted. Michael turned to his lawyer. She can't do this. It's entrapment or fraud or... It's business, Jenkins cut him off, already packing up his briefcase. And frankly, it's beyond my expertise. I'd suggest finding a specialist in corporate law, though I doubt it would help. But the beach house is mine, I finished for him. Always has been. Just like the company is mine now. Just like everything you thought you were cleverly hiding from your wife is mine. Why? He looked broken, his expensive suit suddenly seeming to hang loose on his frame. Why go to all this trouble? Because 23 years ago, you married a young woman who'd worked her way through business school, who had dreams of building something meaningful. And instead of seeing a partner, you saw a trophy, your first trophy wife. You never bothered to look deeper, to see what I was really capable of. The quiet partner, he said, echoing my words from 3 days ago. Not so quiet anymore. I returned to my desk. Barbara will show you out. The divorce papers are ready for your signature in the lobby. Your personal items from the beach house have already been packed and will be delivered to your hotel. Hotel? The apartment belongs to my company now, Amber explained. You'll need to vacate by the end of the week. He stood there for a moment longer, looking lost. I really never knew you, did I? No, I agreed. You never tried to. After they left, Amber stayed behind. That went well. Indeed. I looked at the young woman who'd played her part perfectly. Your commission has been transferred, as agreed. Plus the bonus for finishing ahead of schedule. I almost feel bad for him, she mused. Almost. Don't. Men like Michael deserve what they get. I pulled up another file on my screen. Now, about that investment firm you wanted to start. You'll back me? Her eyes lit up. Better. I showed her the business plan I'd prepared. I want to partner with you. 50-50. We'll specialize in helping other women protect themselves from men like Michael. Investment strategy, property management, corporate restructuring. Everything I've spent 20 years perfecting. She studied the proposal, her sharp mind clearly seeing the potential. Why me? Because you remind me of myself at your age. Smart, ambitious, unwilling to let men like Michael define your worth. I smiled. Plus, you've proven you can play the long game. That's rare. Speaking of the long game, she hesitated. The beach house. You really bought it before he thought he did. I bought it the day after he first cheated on me. 20 years ago, with his previous secretary. I laughed at her surprised expression. What, you thought you were his first? Men like Michael, they follow a pattern. You just have to be patient enough to use it against them. Amber shook her head admiringly. The quiet partner. Not anymore. I pulled up another document, the incorporation papers for our new venture. Now, let's talk about how we're going to help other women find their voice. Epilogue. The divorce was finalized quietly, with Michael signing everything without a fight. Last I heard, he'd moved to Florida, where he's dating a bartender who actually is just a bartender. Amber and I launched Montgomery Clayton Strategic Consulting 6 months ago. We already have a waiting list of clients, mostly women with stories similar to mine, looking to protect themselves from men who underestimate them. The beach house. I kept it, of course. It's become our corporate retreat center, where we teach women the art of the long game. There's something poetic about using the same views, the same infinity pool, the same sunset-facing master bedroom that Michael had promised to his girlfriend, to instead empower women to take control of their own destinies. Barbara runs our client intake now, using her years of experience to spot the warning signs we all missed when we were younger. Together, we're building something Michael never could have imagined, a network of quiet partners who are quiet no more. Yesterday, I received a letter from Michael's mother, of all people. I always knew you were smarter than him, she wrote. I just never realized how much smarter. Keep the family beach house. You've earned it. I framed the letter and hung it in my office, next to the original lease agreement Michael had signed thinking it was a deed of sale. Both serve as reminders that sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking what's yours. It's building something stronger from what others tried to take from you. As for me, I finally hired a decorator to redo the beach house master bedroom. The sunset views are still perfect, but now they shine on a different kind of success story. One where the quiet partner finally gets to write the ending. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.